Okay, so, the one thing that I really want to help people with is once you really get a good feel for, once you get a really good feel about how screwed up this planet is, how not to get depressed about it. Because part of the journey of awakening is the hard part is to, you know, kind of like peeling off a layer of saran wrap from your face. It's the filter that we get growing up within the system. It's a big filter, and if you're what they call the unawake people, you see everything through the filter. So, what did I notice today? Um, I noticed the incredible amount of paperwork that people have got to do. It's 2020, and paper, 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 like real paper. Way back in like the 1980s, the promise of computer technology was the paperless office. We got more paper now than ever. So, I'm looking at this stack of paper and I'm going, how are you really going to organize this much paper? Where's the paper go after, you've gone through it? And then it's just endless, endless, endless. And everywhere I go, I see government signs that say coronavirus, coronavirus. It's like they jump right onto this. Um, I shared today on my Facebook an article about um, how I think it wasn't that long ago that there was 50 or 60 media companies in the United States, and we're now down to about six. So they merged and amalgamated them all. So, do you think that if you've got six corporations that run the media for a country of, what is it, 300 million, that that's effective? Some people might say, well, six is enough. You should be able to get a good um, variety of views with six um, media organizations. No, no, you can't. You can't. So, what are we really? Why is that? Because it was a lot of independent newspapers when people used to buy the paper that had reporters that were out lifting up rocks and looking to see what the hell's under this rock. In other words, who is out there doing wrong things that we need to report about? Now we don't have those reporters. Those independent papers are gone. And these six media news organizations, um, they have basically the same story. You turn on any one of these networks, it's the same story. So we don't have real news reporting anymore. It's basically brainwashing. We have not really advanced in making our world pretty. Before Walmart, there were downtowns in small town America and all the other countries of the world where you could have an enjoyable time, and they were pretty much beautiful places to go. You mean the small business owners would have nice planters outside their shop, and everything fit in nicely. Today, it's disgusting. With after Walmart, all of the downtown areas are boarded up, boarded up, boarded up. And what's left are these corporate stores. They're ugly buildings. They're square boxes, big box stores, middle box stores, and not too many little box stores. But, you know, it's all the same. And they're ugly, ugly buildings. And the worst thing of all is the ugly signage. Ugly signage everywhere. It's garish. It's disgusting. So, you know, cities are not pretty at all. I was thinking about the pictures of Earth from space, and you see, beautiful blue oceans and clouds, and it's a very beautiful planet from way out in space. But when you come down to the city area, cities are butt ugly, and this is where most humans live. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So, but we're so used to it. People grow up, and this is the way cities are. And young people weren't around before Walmart ruined everything. So, yeah, when you finally wake up and you go, this sucks, then how do you not get depressed? Well, you have two jobs on your agenda. One job is to point out to everyone who's still wearing the saran wrap filter over their eyes that this is a disaster. This is not a utopia. This is what they call a dystopia. And for you personally, because you've already seen this, you have to be able to keep your vibration up and not get depressed, not get angry, because what happened to me today, something that was covered by my insurance, when I went in today, it wasn't covered anymore. That I got angry for 10 minutes. So you living in this world, you're going to have these things happen to you where, you feel like puking when you see how ugly things are. And, you got this new charge that, it's just like nickel and dime you to death. So all this stuff goes on, and it can lower your vibration if you allow yourself to wallow in anger, wallowing in. I can just feel it. It's like I can feel it in my body, right? So you don't want that, but that's what you get. You'll get angry, and a lot of people are very apathetic. Apathy is a really low vibration because they say there's nothing I can do about it. It's in Psychology 101, it's called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. So you have to be able to rise above this stuff that you're going to see all the time. You got to be, for the other people that don't see it and don't see that it's a problem, you got to be pointing it out. And a lot of times it's very hard to pull that saran wrap off their eyes. It takes a lot of work, and there's not. Anyway, so how is it that you keep your vibration up? As I said in my previous talk, you really want to be up around 600 on the scale of human consciousness, which is peace. So how do you keep peace when you keep getting jabbed by, gotcha, that is designed to first make you angry and then lower your vibration to apathy? You have to become a comic. What do I mean? Well, a comedian. And what does a comic or a comedian do? Well, they do this pointing out. Look at how ugly the signs are around our city. Look how ugly the buildings are. Look at all the problems. And then on the other side of the street, how do you get so that you start laughing about it and don't take it seriously? That's the cue. You've got to not take it seriously. And sometimes on my videos, I get very serious, but as a comic, you have to be able to point out the problems. It's like in the olden days, when you had kings and queens and castles, they had the court jester who would dress up in a clown suit, and it was his job to entertain the court, the king and queen, and all the aristocrats. And so you have to be willing to point out all the emperor wears no clothes is another kind of one of this thing. So you have to look at all this stuff and um, poke fun at it, and you have to be careful not to get too much into nasty humor, and you have to avoid becoming Howard Stern. Okay, let's go over this. Nasty humor is, it's not levity. It's not bringing you up. It's not making you feel light on your feet. So that's what I do, especially if I feel in my body uncomfortable feelings. A lot of times it's like in my tummy, it's like, oh, I don't feel well in my tummy because of stuff that I see and stuff that's annoying. So, my tummy's upset. So you got to work on your breathing. Got to remember, take your breathing. It's just basic stuff. You got to work on your breathing. You have to be very good at tolerating not feeling so good. And, well, what was the other thing I was talking about? The comic bit. Not taking it seriously. But you live in this world, shouldn't you take it seriously? Hmm. You have to really work hard on being the actor. In other words, the movie set is, the city or town you're living in. That's the set that you're living in. And you're an actor. So, if you were born and they give you a birth certificate and, your birth certificate's got your official name on it, that's not who you really are. That was all given to you by this shitty world. Your name and, your status in life. Because, if you're born into a rich family, you got all kinds of status. If you're born into, one of these movie families, like Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas, these kind of families of actors, that's not the kind of actor I'm talking about. You have to be an actor in your own world. So, when I'm doing what I'm doing during the day, I have to be able to step back when I'm not, especially when I'm not feeling well. If I'm not feeling well, my, I get aches and pains, and it's once you become very empathic, you pick up on energies. And sometimes my characters get really wound up. They just get really, really wound up, but not in a good way. So what I have to remember to do is be the actor playing the wound up person. How do you do that? Well, one time I had a job as a car salesman. And I told my boss when I first got hired, he asked me, what were you doing before this? And I said, well, I was out in Hollywood North, Vancouver, British Columbia, and I was working in movies. I took some acting classes. My boss looked at me and he said, well, this is a car dealership, so you better act like a salesman. And that's the key, because I was acting like a salesman. but I was the actor. So when at the end of the day, when I stepped off the car lot, I stopped acting like a salesman for the car dealership, and I just became an actor. And what is an actor? He's totally open to doing different roles. And that is how I really relax from the stress of it all. Because, I might have a version of me that is, furious at something that happened. And then I remember, but you're acting the part of a human in this world. And, so it's stepping out of the outraged personality. You are not an outraged personality. You are simply playing that part for other people primarily. But you have to keep remembering, maybe, get a pen and write it on your hand or, the back of your hand or something. I'm an actor. So when you're stepping out of the role of being the salesman or the outraged person or the person who's pointing out all the things that are shitty about the world, you can relax because, you're not that thing. You're playing that role. And, okay, so what if you're in with a group of people and you're kind of afraid to speak your true feelings? Because you think they're going to start throwing spitballs at you or rotten tomatoes. A lot of times I go to quiet. I don't talk. Does it help me? It helps me a lot because it interrupts the pattern of this role that I'm playing. Being quiet means, I'm stopping all these thoughts from spinning around in my head. I'm going to quiet. So try and remember that. Go quiet sometimes. Just breathe and be quiet. What, you're not talking anymore? No, no, why not? Because I just want to take a break from all talking and all the, you know, getting enraptured in whatever I was doing before. So I'm taking a break from acting like whatever it was I was doing. Do I feel better, when I step out of the, oh yeah, especially if I feel really wound up. You just step out of the role. I just say, be the actor instead of being the person in the role. Be the actor and you can relax because you're not the role. My friend Clancy wants to remind me too to add, um, it's one of our characters here, Bob Frizzell's teachings. Uh, be moment to moment. In other words, be here and don't be spending too much time thinking about the future or thinking back about the past. Why? Because if you think too much about the future, you can get anxiety. And if you think too much about the past, you can get regret. Anxiety and regret are low vibrations. And you have to keep your vibration up high. What's the whole point of all of us getting our vibrations up to peace? That's how we're going to manifest major change on the planet. So, for the person who left me a comment today, if you're in a classroom of a bunch of people and you feel like you're not really being authentic about your feelings with them, keep your vibration high. Know that there's a lot of us that have pulled the saran wrap off our eyes, and we're still sort of planting seeds in the unawakened people. Planting seeds here and there just are some of our little remarks, and, a lot of times on Messenger, if they're on my Facebook, I'm on Messenger. Sometimes I send them, something to help wake them up, a little seed to plant. A lot of times they don't even acknowledge. They don't even give me a thumbs up that they got it. But I look because on the bottom of Messenger, you can see if someone saw what you sent them. You know, so what's the point of it all? Because if we can get more and more people to raise their vibration, we can change everything because we are the creators in this world. And if we're locked into the feeling of apathy, in other words, no matter what I do, nothing's going to change, nothing's going to change. Damn right, it's going to change. And what happens is if you raise your vibration, you're going to find that people are going to notice. It's like, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? Are you okay? And it really should be the other way around because you're working towards peace and these other ones are stuck in the old ways. So they're noticing you're changing. And you have to be very careful with that because you don't want to fall back into joining their group. You probably won't, but you have to catch yourself because especially if you're in a big group of people and you're the only one who seems to be awake to the situation, if you hold your vibration high, they will notice it. Keep holding your vibration high, become the actor, breathe, go silent. Know that we are on a big project. It's not just you and it's not just me. It's a big project to awaken humanity, to get our vibrations high. Because we have to change everything here. And you don't have to do it on your own, and don't expect me to do it on my own. But Dr. David R. Hawkins, the psychiatrist who did all the work into consciousness research, said that there's a thing called entrainment. So you can be entrained to very low vibrations. He said rap music back in, that was 2000 or whatever. He found that type of music tended to lower your vibration, especially, like fuck the police, that kind of stuff. Very unpleasant music. It's more like noise than music. And I think that's had a lot to do with it. It wasn't, anyway. And so you can be entrained to low vibrational things, or you can also be entrained to high vibrational things. So Dr. Hawkins said this is the one reason why people get into like meditation groups because they're with another group of people who are doing the same thing. So you can all entrain to one another at a high vibration. What's low vibration? Like mainstream media, television, the television news especially, or radio news. Why did I talk about Howard Stern? Well, if you're entrained to Howard Stern, is he about waking you up or keeping you asleep? He's about keeping you asleep. In other words, you're tuning in to this major celebrity who's very negative, and you could go back to, oh my God, I mean, it was was it 25 years ago? He had a TV show, Howard Stern's TV show on late night. He does the same thing now that he does then. It's not eye-opening. It basically keeps you asleep. Asleep in the matrix is what a lot of people call it. Where you're going to get your information. You got Howard Stern on all the time. It's awful. It entrains you to a low vibration. So if you want to entrain other people to a higher vibration, turn off Howard Stern, turn off the horrible news, meditate, breathe, go to silence, be the actor. And know that there is a major push on to get more and more people to higher vibrations. You can entrain other people to your higher vibration. If you hold it, there's more energy in a high vibration than there is in a low vibration. So, your energy is higher. Someone at low energy um, is naturally going to gravitate up to your higher vibration to match you because they don't have as much energy as you do. So, if they have a low vibration of anger and you're up at peace, they can't hold on to anger. They can't because peace has a way higher vibration, way higher, way more energy. So if they're trying to fight you, and they're not really doing it consciously, but if their angry attitude is coming up against your peace, um, they don't have enough energy in their anger to bring you down unless you're not aware that, they're angry and, you know, they don't really want you to come down to anger, but because they're unconscious of it all, they're not aware. So you have to be watching people. That one's angry. Well, do I want to interact with an angry person? Pretty much no, unless they're crossing your personal boundary, because that's what people on this planet do all the time, is they're rude. I was going to say rude effers, because they are. Because they're unaware. They don't have any sense of empathy what's going on. They're self-absorbed. Whatever's going on in them, that's all they see. So you have to set a boundary. In other words, don't pollute me with your garbage. And you might end up appearing angry to that other person. Don't be surprised. You're acting angry to basically mirror. You're holding a mirror up to the angry person and say, I can be angry too. And it's not for you to go down there and permanently be angry, but it's basically, get the fuck out of my face, you stupid shit. You're a rude fucker. Get away from me. I got teeth. I can bite too. And that's setting a boundary. And then once you've had your incident with this person, you kind of file this person away and you're like, yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on that one if I see them, you know.
Sandwiches are ready.
Thank you. My sandwiches are ready. So know that there are a lot of people awake and there's a lot more all the time. So you're not alone. And it's getting better and better and better. You just have to go on to things like YouTube and you see there's more and more commentators that are talking about raising your vibration, becoming more consciousness, and then you look and there's more and more followers on these kind of people. So, there's one website that's called Love is One, and that's basically what it is. It's higher love. Higher love and higher love is one because it's got more energy than hate. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and click on the little bell if you want more updates when I get more videos for you.